Asiana Airlines is set to be fully integrated into Korean Air at the end of 2026. It's an airline that will soon disappear from our everyday lives for good. So, what about Asiana Airlines business and economy class seats before the merger? What's up guys, this is DDN. I recently flew on Asiana Airlines Incheon, Prague route. This route was newly launched by Asiana Airlines in April 2025. Recently, Asiana has been steadily expanding its European routes, not only launching flights to Prague, but also planning new services to Milano in Italy and Budapest in Hungary next year. Currently, business class passengers on Asiana Airlines check in at the dedicated premium check-in counter located in Terminal 1 of Incheon Airport. However, starting January 14, 2026, Asiana Airlines will also move to Terminal 2, where Korean Air operates, so make sure not to get confused. Asiana Airlines' business class lounge can be a bit disappointing in terms of food, but the upside is that it rarely feels overcrowded, which actually makes it a great place to relax quietly before boarding, as a lounge is meant to be. Once Asiana moves its operations to Terminal 2 and vacates the 4 lounge spaces it currently occupies, it'll be interesting to see how those areas get repurposed in the future. Asiana Airlines flight OZ545 from Incheon to Prague currently departs at 10:50 a.m. It is operated with the A350-900, which is Asiana Airlines' newest aircraft type, the one with the raccoon sunglasses-shaped cockpit window design. However, even though it is called the newest aircraft, some of the airplanes have already been used for up to 8 years, so the title of newest aircraft does not quite fit anymore. After the merger decision with Korean Air, the A350 aircraft that were originally planned to be delivered to Asiana were taken by Korean Air. Because of this, Asiana Airlines has had no new long-haul wide-body aircraft introduced after 2023. Just as Korean Air's business class has many different types of seats, such as its newest prestige seats and old prestige seats, Asiana Airlines also has several types of business class seats. On the A380, the first class seats that were used before changed their name to Business Suite. The onboard service like meals is offered as business class, but the seat itself is the same as the former first class seat. Most of the aircraft used for long-haul flights, such as the A350 and Boeing 777, are equipped with Asiana Airlines' main business class seat called Business Smartium. Also on the A330, the older business class seats that are known as slide seats are installed, and on the smaller aircraft A321, there is a recliner seats. For this trip to Prague, my younger sibling and I tried both business class and economy class. First, here is the business class seat on the A350, which has Asiana Airlines' unique beige color with yellow accents. There are 28 business class seats installed in the front area of the cabin. All seats face straight forward, and the layout is a staggered configuration that alternates in each row. The seat pitch is 77 inches, and the seat width is 22 inches, which is slightly larger than Korean Air's Prestige Suite 1.0 or 2.0. On the headrest area, the seat structure curves outward to block the line of sight from the neighboring seat. In odd-numbered rows, the seat is placed closer to the aisle. In even-numbered rows, the seat is positioned next to the window. For the center seats, the odd-numbered rows have the seats placed together, and the even-numbered rows have the seats separated. Next to the Business Smartium seat, there is usually a storage space that includes the table, as well as a place to hold the booklet, headset, water, and other items. But for seats 7A and 7K in the last row, because they are designated for installing an infant bassinet, there is no storage area and only the table is placed there. Instead, there is a separate space under the seat to store the booklet. The reading light sticks out like an antenna, and next to the table are the seat controller and the remote control. Below that, there is also a small storage compartment. The monitor across from the seat is 18.5 inches. Although this is the same Business Smartium product, The monitors on Asiana Airlines' other wide-body aircraft, such as the A380 and Boeing 777, are somewhat smaller. In particular, the business Smartium seats on the Boeing 777 were the first version of business Smartium, previously called the Oz Quadra Smartium. Because of its age, the seat width, the space, and even the monitor size are all noticeably narrower and smaller, and visually, the Boeing 777's business Smartium feels quite old. Since it is a Korean, the in-flight entertainment naturally includes a wide selection of Korean content. But don't worry, there are plenty of Hollywood titles and other recent international content as well. The table is pulled down from the side of the monitor, and there is also a small hook next to it for hanging light clothing. The footwell in front is surprisingly wide toward the outer side, so it does not feel too cramped except when lying fully flat. The bottom part has a slight incline, making it comfortable to rest your feet. The flooring has Asiana Airlines' signature traditional color pattern subtly embedded, which looks nice. There is a power outlet under the seat, and on the side between the seat and the table, there is another port for the headset and a USB port. Upon boarding, you receive a bottle of water, a headset, and slippers. The amenity pouch is from Aigner, a German brand. Inside it contains Aigner lip balm, facial cream, and hand cream, as well as toothpaste, a toothbrush, an eye mask, sleep socks, and a comb and earplugs. The design of the pouch itself is a bit disappointing, but the items inside are fairly good. A blanket and pillow are also provided for sleeping later. Now, let's move to the economy class, where my younger sibling was seated. This is Asiana Airlines A350 economy seat. I asked my sibling to film it, and wow, the footage came out pretty well. The seat pitch is 32 to 33 inches, and the seat width is 18 inches. It's not particularly narrow or small. You can think of it as the standard economy class seat you'd normally expect from a FSC. Asiana Airlines also operates an economy Smartium option. Everything else is the same, but the leg room is 36 inches, and you have to pay an extra fee to use it. The headrest in economy can be adjusted by folding the sides, and there is an 11.1-inch personal monitor. Under the monitor, there is a remote control, and the tray table folds out from a half-folded shape. Unlike Korean Air, which provides earphones, Asiana Airlines provides a headset even in economy, and personal preference will likely decide which one you prefer. Economy class comes with an amenity pouch since it's a long-haul flight. Inside, you'll find a toothbrush and toothpaste set, along with slippers. In economy Smartium, you also get an eye mask. They also provide the same slippers as those offered in business class. Once the aircraft begins to move, the 12:30 journey to the Czech Republic finally starts. Here's the business class meal menu. They offer various spirits and traditional liquors, and the beer selection includes Cass, Cloud, and Heineken. The champagne served is Palmer Brut Reserve, and there are 2 types each of white wine, red wine, and dessert wine. Between Western and Korean meals, I chose Korean. Starting with the appetizer, beef shank and ginseng terrine, it's a truly authentic Korean dish. Thinly sliced terrine is served with julienned vegetables and sauce. Since terrine is originally a food paired with alcohol, I also had a glass of champagne with it. As far as I know, bread usually doesn't come with Korean meals, but occasionally, when they have some extra, they ask if you'd like bread with it. So, I gratefully accepted. The next dish was grilled short ribs with sambab. Asiana Airlines was actually the first airline to introduce sambab as an in-flight meal back in 2005, and even won an award for it in 2006. It's truly one of Asiana Airlines' signature meals. These days, Korean Air also serves sambab, but there are still so many people who prefer the original Asiana Airlines version. If Asiana Airlines disappears, I think sambab will be the thing people miss the most. After the feast, I tried the beautifully plated fresh fruit. For dessert, mugwort paste rice cake and candied walnuts were served with coffee. The coffee was from Coffee Libre. For the first in-flight meal in economy class, chicken with rice, salad, mousse cake and bread were served. On long-haul routes to Europe, 2 full meals are served, and snacks are available on request in between. Among Asiana Airlines' business class snacks, the acorn jelly cold soup is famous. Korean Air also serves acorn jelly soup as an in-flight meal, and if you get ice and Sprite on the side, adding ice and a splash of Sprite makes it even better. It's also unique that they serve Jeonju bibimbap flavored triangle kimbap. And of course you can have ramen as a snack, but I also ordered some fruit as dessert. Kimchi and pickled radish are served alongside it, and even though I usually don't eat ramen, it's incredibly tempting on a plane. Among the snacks, Polmyeon black sand chips are provided, which are really tasty. They're salty, so they go perfectly with beer. Snacks are also provided in economy class. I was a bit worried that my younger sibling, who was visiting Europe for the first time, might not know what to eat. But that worry was unnecessary. He received a pizza bread and is happily nibbling away. Asiana Airlines Business Smartium seats transform into fully flat 180-degree beds. However, no separate mattress is provided, only a blanket and pillow come with it. I think providing bedding is a key standard for a good airline's business class service. It was a bit disappointing that it wasn't provided on long-haul flights. In business class restroom, you can find toothbrushes, toothpaste, shaving kits, mouthwash, combs, and L'Occitane hand lotion. In economy class restroom, usually only L'Occitane products, mouthwash and a comb are provided. Shall we try the second in-flight meal? For this lightly served second meal, I chose Korean again. The appetizer was a caprese salad. I was curious about the small egg-like items served with the salad, and it turns out they were balsamic pearls. A different type of bread was also provided. The main course was grilled flatfish with halabong soy sauce. I was wondering what halabong soy sauce would taste like. It's not just regular soy sauce, but the fish has a subtle halabong citrus aroma. I usually don't eat fish on flights, but it paired perfectly with the shiitake mushrooms, carrots and zucchini served alongside. The dessert was a heart-shaped strawberry mousse cake, and just eating it felt like it filled me with love. My younger sibling, who said the 11-hour flight to Sydney was tough, will be able to handle the 13-hour flight. As expected, he was holding up thanks to his food. The second meal in economy class was the same as the first. The main meal included chocolate cake for dessert. A salad with pasta and bread were also served. I also had an economy class meal on the way back. And it's interesting how Asiana Airlines' in-flight meals feel a bit different from Korean Air's. Even with the same bibimbap, the seasoning and ingredients vary slightly. Personally, I really enjoyed Asiana Airlines' meals, that they were delicious, not just in business class, but also in economy. You might remember that Asiana Airlines was once ranked the world's best airline, and it stood out from Korean Air in terms of service. This is also the secret behind Asiana Airlines joining Star Alliance, a global airline alliance, rather than Korean Air. Of course, with its business declining and the full integration with Korean Air approaching, it's not quite the same as it used to be. Still, there's a unique charm in Asiana Airlines' seats and in-flight meals, so it's a shame that we'll have one less option going forward. The A350 business seat you just saw will likely be updated after the integration. Still, I'm glad I got to review it before the full merger. This was DDN. Thank you.